Learning to write well is a lifelong pursuit for many of us. We read to absorb craft technique and style, see how others wield voice and characterization, witness the peppering in of thematic statements and philosophical musings that turn 2D stories into 3D experiences. Reading well helps you write well. We know this. Still, most of us don't practice reading well enough. Sure, you may be on a pragmata learning reading quest just like me, but if you're reading to read and not participating in the critique of what you're reading, you may still be missing the critical connections and word choices that allow you to express not only what you like or dislike, but why. For much of my reading life, I spent my time whipping through books. From one to the next, I flipped pages just as fast as I could, devouring each tome without satisfaction, always hungry, always looking for the next book. When you read in a frenzy like I did, two things happen. First, you forget what you've just read. Even the author's name, the title of the book, the names of the main characters themselves can fall to the wayside without proper processing time between books. Sure, I liked a lot of what I had been reading on the surface, but without remembering the finer details of the story or how it came together, how could I be sure I liked the story, not just the act of reading? I couldn't. And being unable to recall fine details means I've read hundreds of books I'll never likely remember. Humbling. Second, you lack words for the why behind the what. Companion to the first point, perhaps, is that I couldn't hold in-depth conversations about the books I'd read, despite being an avid reader. Beyond a cursory, I liked it, or meh, it wasn't for me, I couldn't explain why I gave the answers I gave. Worse, when someone asked for a recommendation, I hadn't given enough critical thought to the books I'd read to make apt recommendations based on their wish list. Was that the one with the cursed child or the haunted music box? Again, humbling. While my example may be extreme, and you may allow yourself to think for a few minutes about one book before moving on to the next, I shared this with you because it highlights the problem with uncritical reading, the loss of craft, perspective, and connection. Ever heard the saying, those who can't do, teach? I call bull on that and turn it on its head. Those who can't teach won't do well. Teaching others is a super effective way to teach oneself, a fact that has been backed up by study after study. Students who are struggling with subjects or concepts in school or at university are often encouraged to teach others who are struggling even more, and this is important. In doing so, the student teacher helps another while gaining critical learning for themselves. Through teaching, in this case, critiquing, you will be compelled to retrieve skills and concepts you've just learned, keeping them top of mind, which helps you retain information in the long term. After all, telling another writer, I didn't like the main character, isn't helpful. However, telling another writer that the main character's dialogue seemed inconsistent with her age and worldview, which disrupted believability and made the projected reading audience younger than intended, gives key insights to the author who can then use such insights during revisions. And you will remember your own feedback later when it's time for you to write or revise. While you're writing your draft story, it's easy to get stuck in your own noodler. Whether you believe your story is original and the most exciting thing ever, or you're overcome by imposter syndrome and the dread of having someone else read your work. Navel gazing is most unhelpful to anyone trying to build a writing career. When you critique others, you are forced to put away your own writing, even if just for a moment, to focus on something else. No, not your belly button. During that time, you're reading, you're thinking, you're generating ideas and ways to communicate with the other author what you want them to know about your experience with their work. When you head back to your writing desk and pull out your own manuscript, you will be that much more capable of adopting a more objective perspective because you can put on your critique hat and use what you've shared with others to help yourself. Knowing your setting descriptions are off is one thing, but having the perspective to explain that they're off because the descriptions used don't match the point of view character's experience or voice is another thing entirely. The first will make you anxious. The second will energize you to craft better setting descriptions. And I know what kind of help I'm trying to give myself. Critiquing isn't done in a vacuum. And if you're doing it in a vacuum using only your own work, you're doing it wrong. The process of giving your attention to another writer to help them make their story better provides a critical and supportive connection in the author landscape. You need professional friends, and critique partners can be lifesavers, coming in clutch when you need them the most. I'm part of an editor's co-working group, and we meet several times a week to work through our manuscript edits together. When we're not editing, though, many of us are writing fiction, and we formed a critique group among ourselves expressly to support and encourage each other while pushing each other to the next level. Anytime I need outside eyes, I know I can ask my editor's group for a read-through and reaction. And anytime another editor asks for the same, I'm often the first one to raise my hand. Y'all, our writing group has gone beyond the stodgy colleagues label. We've become friends, and friends speak hard truths. We've pushed each other to kill those precious darlings, go deeper into character voice, pull out the little moments that matter, turn our settings into characters in their own right, and more. But we couldn't, and probably wouldn't, let's be honest, do this without having established a professional friendship connection and the trust that comes with it. Critiquing others to help them succeed in their writing will help you become a better author through craft, perspective, and connection. You'll end up finding your people, and your people will usher in that better writing. When diving into critique, keep an open mind, a teaching heart, and an empathetic outlook. And don't forget to express gratitude not only for the help you receive from others, but for the help you deliver to yourself through your careful and kind critique. So, do you have a critique buddy or two yet? If not, leave a comment to let someone know what you write. Maybe someone else is looking for their critique people too. Happy writing.